Hey everyone, Suzi here, and today we're playing King Arthur Legends Rise. For today's video, we're going to go over the basics for Frozen Plain ALDRI. Let's talk about beating the bear. Alright, so I actually had recorded my video for beating stage 7 and my team that I used. And the ironic part was I realized I never did this basics video. So yeah, let's talk about the basics first, because these kind of rules are going to apply no matter what your team is. So hopefully this can help you figure out what your best comp is and just understand the bear better if you haven't really taken the time to do so. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look in-game, and then we're going to go over to the website and pull up their little CM tips. And we're going to talk about ALDRI here. So this is going to highlight some key parts of the skills and give us a better understanding and reminders for the ways we need to beat this boss. Let me open back up the hoop here. Okay, so first of all, ALDRI, it's a hard one, but it's so important. Being able to advance our relics, kind of need that, right? Relic power up and advancement. So the suggestions for this are, all right, well, ALDRI periodically recovers HP by going to sleep, hibernation. Prevent its recovery by using recovery disruption before it wakes up. ALDRI deals damage based on its defense, so watch out for its increasing defense stat. ALDRI has the ability to increase its defense in proportion to the amount of damage it takes. Use a defense decrease to decrease ALDRI's damage. So, recovery disruption, your best options are going to be Morgan, if you can get a different relic. But unfortunately, Morgan with the flame relic is not ideal. And then the better option is definitely going to be Ecolon. He's just easy to work with. He has it on his second skill, and yeah, it's going to be way more reliable. It's just simple enough. Also here, when attacking a target with a defense decrease, 80% chance to inflict recovery disruption for 2 turns. So he pairs with people that do defense decrease, which also Morgan does. So if you have her other relic, it's so good. But if you don't, then you're going to have a hard time keeping her alive in the higher stages. For me, I dropped her once I hit to 7, personally, because it was really hard to keep alive with her being the wrong element for matching up against ALDRI. So, Ecolon, Gawain they suggest as well against him, but defense decrease. So another person that actually has this is Arthur with the frost weapon. So this is not everybody. There are some options here that actually do this. I think I was even playing with, was it King Urion's placing it too? I don't know. There's more people that place this than meets the eye. It just depends on which relic you have for some of them. So keep that in mind. You want to place defense decrease, but for me, I actually did the battle with no defense decrease. It worked. It was just very slow. All right, so the boss, again, it's all about this hibernation state. So he attacks, he inflicts accuracy decrease on you, keep in mind, so a debuff remover can be helpful. Effect resistance decrease, defense increase for himself and his claws. Recharge attack, you must be charged, okay, blah blah blah. Attacks 4 times, damage based on his attack and defense. Chance for the first 2 hits to inflict effect resistance decrease. So this is really tough to counteract if you don't have the right people. It's definitely a hard boss, but there's some good options. Sarah makes a good support to get rid of debuffs, and you can use the healing prevention with the Ecolon, who's a rare. So much easier to build anyway, right? And then he does inflict freeze here with the claws, and yeah, same thing. So the big thing is you really have to prevent him from restarting, and do keep in mind he does 90% reduce damage from DOTs, so burning, freezing, or chill, all that fancy stuff is not going to help unless the character's just doing raw damage on top of that. So, all right, let me pull up the CM tips. So, obtain materials to enhance relics in this dungeon and make sure to include a hero capable of recovery disruption to hinder ALDRI's recovery. Use heroes who can grant defense decrease effect for a smoother battle whose attacks are based on defense stat. So, huge. Alright, so the third power-up dungeon, Frozen Plain. It's a dungeon where you can obtain resources to level up and advance relics. Clearing this dungeon is essential to increase your relic's default stats and grade. Quest. Alright, ALDRI. So, robust immunity. At the start of the battle, he gains damage taken and defense increase, wrathful ire, abnormal status immunity, attack gauge decrease immunity. So you can't manipulate him like Penvid. To him and body parts, and reduced damage over time by 90%. Okay, so this is the big thing. Hibernate. It's a charge attack. It must be charged for 2 turns. Recovery rate proportional to HP lost. Gains defense increase 2 for 3 turns. Frozen Plains boss ALDRI not only attacks the opponent based on defense, but also hibernates to recover a significant amount of HP for after a certain time, making it a simple yet powerful boss. Make sure you add heroes that inflict defense decrease effect to lower ALDRI's defense-based attacks and recovery disruption to neutralize the HP recovery. So like I said, personally, I was able to do this on 7 with only the recovery disruption mechanic without the defense decrease mechanic. It just was a very slow battle, but worth it if you can do it. So the recommended teams, this is pretty close, except again, Morgan is the wrong element. So ideally, this is a fine team. Arthur can actually be the, with the frost one, he can be the defense decrease. Actually, which is weird that they don't list it, but it's true. But Morgan is just not ideal higher stages when she's the wrong element. She just takes hits too hard and she just dies. It's really hard to keep her alive, even level 60. And unless you just build her super tanky with accuracy, then okay. But she actually does decent damage, so I'd be kind of sad to not try to put some damage on her personally. But yeah, I used Akolon and Sarah in my team. That's part of it. This is actually very close to my team as well. Almost the same team with Morgan. See, this is ideal. Recommended Morgan with a different artifact, right? The Storm one. So with Bedivere with the Storm would be perfect, but I don't have Bedivere with Storm. I do have him with Frost, and I did use him there as well. So Sarah is capable of healing allies and inflicting buff disruption to counter the defense increase effects. So you can try to prevent the boss from getting that. So that's probably why it's okay for my team with Sarah in it to not have the defense decrease, because sometimes she's preventing the decrease increase. I just don't think that's happening every time, honestly. And then another advanced team here is Gawain, Florentinius, Sarah, and Bedivere. Interesting. Florentinius' recovery disruption effect can be used. See, I was just looking at his kit the other day and I didn't see anything with recovery disruption. I really need to look at it again. I swear I didn't have it. I was like, why are they mentioning it? Anyway, Gawain has a defense decrease as well. So not only does Gawain hit really hard, but he can be your defense decrease. So that's huge. All right, bonus tip. ALDRI is frost element and the environmental effects are day and rain applied to the frost plane. The charge attack status indicates a powerful skill. However, it also indicates an unprotected state where it cannot attack. So, I mean, that's obviously when you're going to be able to use extra attacks and not have to worry about your healing, for example. So you're going to have to clear the main story, Chapter 2, Battle 2-7, in hard difficulty to unlock this dungeon. And yeah, that's pretty fun. All right, let's play their clip. I like to see how their clips are, honestly. 5 minutes. So let me see what they're doing in their clip. Can I make this fast? Okay, why is the quality so bad? Oh my god, is it really? Let's see theirs. This is, again, not mine. This is just me clicking theirs. So they're using Arthur with the frost, or the Arthur with the storm, Aquilon with his defaults, Sarah with her storm, and Morgan was fire. But how the hell are they keeping Morgan alive at level 85 ALDRI? I don't know. She takes some hard hits when she's the weak element, that's for sure. So they're definitely keeping up the defense drop very well, which Morgan is so good for that too, because it's on her basic attack. And then I guess we have... What are they actually using with Arthur? Let's see. I don't remember Arthur's storm artifact that well, though, honestly. I just know the frost one has the defense drop. I really don't think that's the best option. If you're gonna use Arthur, you might as well use him with the one that actually helps to keep that defense decrease up, which also helps your team to do more damage, of course, just overall, regardless if this boss had that buff up or not. But Sarah can put up the buff disruption and prevent the buffs from happening in the first place sometimes if you get your timing right and use the appropriate skill. Okay, yeah, this is a really solid team though. I just personally could not keep Morgan alive as we got progressed with her being the wrong element, but depends on how you build her. If you build her just to be your defense decrease using her, she could just be the one using her first skill to be helping to recycle your vigor, and then she's putting up the debuffs as well. So you could just have two builds, you know, have like one is a damage accuracy build and one is a defensive, like defense HP and accuracy focus to make sure, and also speed. So if you're going to have Morgan or whoever's placing your defense decrease, make sure they're your fastest person on your team, because you want to place the defense decrease before your nuker hits, right? So that was something I was actually doing to get my ALDRI team going when I was using Morgan. And actually, no, it was the Master of Death. I made sure Morgan went before my Bedivere, because if he's going to smack, I want him to smack after the defense penalty is placed, right? The defense decrease, I mean. Too many games, so many terms. But alright, yeah, this is their team here. And it's a pretty decent example, honestly. It's interesting. And I will have a video coming out. This should be my next video coming out after this one. Today, probably tomorrow instead, early tomorrow maybe, where I will show my ALDRI 7 team. So maybe that can help as well. And there'll be some extra tips thrown in there that maybe I forgot to say in this video. And hopefully a good example of a team. And I also, of course, show all of my skill presets as well. But yeah, this is the one from the game here in the Power Up Dungeon Tips thingy-mabobber. So there you go, guys. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.